Okay, ladies and gentlemen, so what happens when we graph and we're solving a system of linear equations and the solution is not obvious? For instance, let's solve this system of linear equations by graphing first. Y-intercept would be 1. Again, label your scales so we know what we're counting by. Slope of 1, or 1 over 1. So up 1 over 1. Here is the red line. Now, excuse me, let's graph the blue line. So when I graph the blue line, I'm going to have to get the y by itself. So I'm going to divide every piece, remember, every term, by 2, giving me y equals negative 1/2 x plus 4 divided by 2 is 2. So my y-intercept is 2. My slope is negative 1/2 down 1 over 2. Notice this time, when we graphed it, we didn't magically hit that spot like we've been doing. So, what is that point right there? Oh, geez, it's hard to tell. It might be positive 1/2, 1 and 1/2, but it might not be. That would be a guess. If I tried 1/2, 1 and 1/2 in the equation, the 1/2 plus 1 is 1 and 1/2, but over here it might not work. So there's another method we can use when the equations, the lines, it's not obvious where they cross. And that's called the substitution method. So, the substitution method, we'll do this with substitution now. What that method entails is, number 1, solve one of the two equations for one of the variables. So either get the y by itself or get the x by itself in one of the two equations. This one, the y is already by itself. Well, that's nice. So what we're going to do is we're going to take that part that the y is equal to. We're going to take this x plus 1, and we are going to substitute it in, or replace the y in the second equation with that. So this becomes 2, and instead of y, now make sure you use parentheses, because it's the x plus 1, so 2 times that x plus 1 equals the negative x plus 4. Now, I only have an x. I can use my algebraic properties and solve. So I'm going to distribute the 2. 2x plus 2 equals negative x plus 4. I'm going to get my x's on the same side of the equal sign, and I think I'll move this one over here. So I'm going to add x to both sides. That's going to give me 3x plus 2 equals 4. I'm going to subtract 2, giving me 3x equals 2, and now dividing by 3, I get the x equals 2/3. So that point, remember I'm looking for a point still. I'm looking for that point where the two lines cross. That point has an x value of 2/3. Now I need the y that goes with it. Excuse me. How am I going to find the y that goes with it? I'm going to take that x that I know, and I'm going to plug it back into one of these two equations. I'm going to pick this one because it sure looks easy. That gives me the y will equal, instead of x, it's 2/3. I now know the x has to be 2/3. And 2/3 plus 1, the y is 1 2/3. That's my y. There's that point. So it turns out that the point where these two lines cross is actually 2/3, comma 1 2/3. And if we look again, yeah, 2/3, comma 1 2/3, that could be. And if I look a little bit more in depth here and I come out and I look at it on a graph, and I have my x plus 1, and then I have my 2y equals negative x plus 4, and I look, all right, what is that point they cross? And it is indeed the 2/3, because we recognize this decimal as being 2/3, and 1 2/3. So, now, can you do it is the question. So, let's see if you can do it. Let us solve a system of equations. Actually, that will be the next video.